Yep, we're making chili today. So I like to use fresh vegetables where I can. We will be using some canned tomatoes and stuff like that, but I do have some fresh stuff in there. So what we're doing right now is all the prep work. So last night I cooked some beans, drained them, put them in the fridge. There's that. So that's one thing of paste, one thing of tomato sauce, 3 actual tomatoes, half of an onion all diced up. I happen to like using the red onions. I think they're a little bit sweeter. If you don't have this, you guys can make your own. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of chili powder, but I'm out of chili powder, so I have this. And then one thing of either sausage or hamburger meat. In this case, I've got a little bit of bear. So move you over to the stove here. So this is the first step, getting everything prepped out. And here I've got some bacon rendering. And the reason I'm using the bacon, I need the fat for the bear meat because it's really, really lean. So normally I would have a little bit of bacon grease set off to the side, but I'm out. My wife and I have not been eating too much bacon. We're just going to let that cook up. Miss Bell's decided that she wants to try to help me. Yeah, I thought so. So I also do not have any fresh garlic, but I do have some wet garlic, so about that much. Don't worry, I've got a spare. I always have more. So we're going to let this simmer out for a little bit. So we just basically want to dice all this up, nice and manageable chunks. Too small, otherwise it'll really be ground. A little bit of chunkiness in there. The thing about bear is it doesn't, the coloration from beef is different, so go ahead and put all this in here and then get to the next step. Set this aside for cleaning. Man, that we don't have any water right now because they're tying in the main lines. Go ahead and do that. Reduce this. So we're going to reduce this down to 3, just to let it simmer a little bit. Let this go in. And you can use sauce, but I prefer paste just to get a little bit thicker. But then there's also something else that's going to be going in here in a minute. We'll send it back down. It looks a little thick right now, but camera readjust it here. Once again, Miss Bell is over here trying to help. You just want to chunk these things up pretty good. Usually just quarter them. We'll add that to this. And that's a half a beer. That's about right. You get the other half. So. Well, we're going to cover this. I'm going to find my lid. Let this simmer for a couple hours. Yes. Oops. Need a bigger lid. There we go. Oh, there's my lid. Sorry for the noise, but so we have this on 4 or 3.5. And we're just going to let this sit for about 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5. We'll come back in 5 hours. One thing I did forget. What makes chili chili? A nice stir. Sometimes you can put that in with the meat itself, but I found that if you put it out through the entire dish, it's not quite as concentrated. It gives a better overall flavor. And this can also be made in a Dutch oven, campfire, that kind of stuff. Put that back away. Now we go for about 4 hours. Yeah, that's about a time clock. It is about 4.5 hours later. That's looking like a decent chili. We got some leftover corn. We're going to put that in there with the sauce. Put that up. This, Oh, that's good. I'll let that simmer for another half an hour. But you know, I gotta have cornbread. Gotta have cornbread. So I am actually working off a recipe here. So we have 1 cup of yellow cornmeal. We have 1 cup of flour. You have 1/8 of a cup of sugar, and you can actually do a 1/4 cup. I tend not to like sweet things, so I'm going to do this. And there's no buttermilk involved in this one. Most of them call for buttermilk, but it's like I don't have any buttermilk, so that's just it. So 4 tablespoons of baking powder. And this is going to be 11 agent. This is actually when it's going to get it to rise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 tablespoon or half a tablespoon of salt. I did not grab that, but I hope I didn't grab that one. So I'm going to fill this up halfway. And believe it or not, the salt actually helps with the sweetness. And then we're going to do a 1/4 cup of oil. And I'm going to use some canola oil because I actually know. So 1/4 cup of olive oil, and you can use canola or vegetable oil. I actually prefer pure source oil. I'm going to do 2 eggs. You can hear Pickle running around here. So most of my dogs, anytime I'm cooking, this is where they are. Until they get found out. Yeah. I'll do 1 cup of, and it calls for whole milk. We do 2% here, just that we're older. And it says to spray or butter the cooking pan. So what I'm going to do is unsalted butter. I have these mini cooking pans. So, end of day beer review. Rich, thank you very much for your question. Why the toaster oven? And I'll be cooking these in the toaster oven as well. Part of the reason is I've already fixed my stove, and it's had a lower element go out in it 3 times in under 8 years. And it's a Frigidaire. It's a good stove. It had warranty. First one, you know, they took care of it. The second one, it was out of warranty. Third one, out of warranty. And I've repaired it a couple times. You know, a couple times by myself, a couple times by a licensed contractor that would have a warranty on it, and you know, it worked fine until the element blew out again. So, being that the missus and I are learning how to go off grid, we're trying to reduce how much impact that we're actually drawing power off of the grid. Do I actually need to heat up another oven that runs at 220 at 60 amps? Or can I do, you know, the oven, the pressure cooker, the air fryer, and cook our dinner? And I've been pretty successful in it. So it's a lesson in working with what you got. I personally don't feel like fixing the stove again because the house is for sale. The stove's going to go away. I'm not putting the money into it. I'm not transferring it up there. So that's kind of where we're at. So now we have our batter. Just pour that in. Hey, Mishka. You decided that you want to join us. I'll go ahead and finish that out. You need to remember, if you cook by scratch, you're going to save yourself a bunch of money. Yeah, it's some extra work, but like honestly, it's like it might have cost us about 80 cents to do this, and you know, the cost-benefit analysis of making chili versus buying chili. So if you're buying chili, you're looking at $2.80 for a cheap brand. You're looking at $5 for an expensive brand for 12 ounces or 11.5 ounces. I'm able to make this for about 30 cents a serving. And because it's like, it's whole beans, it's, you know, just ground beef or deer, venison, or bear, or whatever meat is you got in the freezer. You can even do chicken, you can do turkey, it doesn't even matter. But if you actually cook from scratch, it'll save you a bunch of money. Because I know grocery prices are hurting everybody right now. So we're going to go ahead and put these in the toaster oven for about 30 minutes at 300 degrees. So back to the ever famous toaster oven. And we'll go ahead and set that for a full 60. We'll go to bake. And we'll go to a little over 350 because I know this oven runs a little bit cold. Put this in here and we'll check back in a half an hour. By that time, our chili should be done. And the kitchen should be cleaned. As you can see, it's about 5:30. It started about a little afternoon. That's looking like some decent ass chili. I'll give that a little bit of a taste test. That is really good. Bit sweet for me, but I'm good with that. A little bit of spice on the back end. That's going to be delicious. So, as you know, we did the cornbread in the toaster oven, and hopefully we answered your questions about why I use a toaster oven for this kind of stuff. If not, and you missed that, go ahead and hit the rewind, but it has to do with trying to figure out how to live off grid, just, you know, doing some minimal stuff. Taking what you got and working with it. So, a trick my grandmother, Nana, taught me, very, very stern German woman. Put toothpick in it, let it sit for a minute, pull it out. If nothing sticks, you're done. Might be a bit soft, might be a bit hard, but it's done. That's our cornbread. We're going to let that cool. We'll go ahead and get those debunked. But you can't have like homemade chili without cornbread. I mean, come on. Off camera, I did cook up or slice up some cheese, some fresh onions, because that kind of goes on there too. So, ain't pretty, but it works. If you can hear the pants in the background, Miss Belle is making her appearance, hoping for something to fall on the floor. You have to forgive Miss Belle. She is, I think, 12 or 13 years old. So she pretty much does whatever she wants. I have noticed in the toaster oven that if it is on the back of the oven, it tends to cook a little bit more. It tends to be a little bit hotter. Oh, just lost one of the dishes. That's okay, Belle. You can have that. So, that's leftover stuff. I'm just actually going to give that to Miss Belle because 14 years old, 12 years old, however old she is, it's just like, it's times 7. So, like, as an old lady, she gets what she wants. We'll be back on that chili in about an hour.